Hey there, this is Erica from Ever Educating, and this channel is teaching tips, tools, ideas, and resources for new college instructors. During these next summer months, I'm going to be doing a lot of writing, so I've batch recorded a series of videos in which each video is about a major assignment that I've done in my classrooms. And so I'll be giving you information on when do I do them, how much do they weigh, the pros and cons of them, what it actually involves, what you do afterward to follow up with students. So all these details so that if you're new to teaching and you're not sure what assignments to assign yet, you can get plenty of ideas from these next few weeks. If you have any questions, you can let me know in the comments as well. In today's video, I'm talking about the autobiography assignment. So this assignment I've done in all of my courses, both my writing courses and my literature courses. They're just tweaked depending what course it is. It takes place in the first week or two of the semester because one of the purposes of the assignment is to get to know your students better on an individual level immediately, and you could use that throughout the rest of the term. There's very little preparation needed for this assignment, both for the faculty and for the students, because all you're asking students to do is connect their life to your particular course. So for example, in the writer's autobiography, in my writing courses, students were each assigned to write a 1 to 2 page double-spaced essay, basically, where they explained to me how writing has influenced who they are as a student or as a person more generally. And so I gave them examples of what this might mean. What does writing mean? It can mean text messages, it can mean tweeting, blogging, writing for class, it can be sending emails, writing journal prompts, whatever the case may be, right? Tell me how writing has influenced who you are as a person or as a student. Now for my literature courses, it's just slightly different, right? So tell me how reading, how literature, how literary text have influenced who you are as a student and as a person. And so again, it's not just in this case books, but I give examples. So they can be, your favorite books you really hated or that upset you. It can be movies, TV shows, adaptations of books, maybe even video games that have storylines that really intrigue you. Tell me about how literary texts have influenced who you are as a person and as a student. And so in this case, there are pros and cons to the assignment. So I would say the main pro for me when I was assigning it in literature and writing courses is, of course, I get to know my students better. So I get a sense of them all as individuals, which I think is really important as an educator, that you're seeing your students not as just one homogeneous blob, but they're each individuals with their own interests, with their own experiences in connection to your classroom. It also gives me a writing sample, so I can get a sense immediately, like, okay, I have students who don't know how to use punctuation properly. I have students who are having grammar struggles. I have students that write paragraphs that don't make a lot of sense structurally, or they don't flow well. The ideas are a bit all over the place. So you can get a sense of your students' writing very soon in the semester. Another pro is that it can be a really easy win for students. So, as far as grading these goes, did they meet the length requirement? Did they turn in on time? Did they answer the question? That's basically all I'm grading. So for the most part, this should be an easy A type of assignment. So the very beginning, a first assignment where students get off on a strong point in the grade book, of course, that is if they do it and they meet those 3 requirements. I very rarely have students not do it because it is such a short, maybe even just 1 page double-spaced assignment for them to turn in. And it's not like I'm asking them to do any research. I'm asking them to tell me about themselves and their experiences. So it doesn't involve a lot of prep on their end either. It's sitting down, writing, proofreading it, and then submitting it to me. And then on your end, again, there's a lot of pros there, and grading it is super fast as well, which is obviously a major advantage when you are, deciding what to assign in your class. Can it be graded quickly? If so, great, right? As far as cons goes, one con would be that you do have something to grade very quickly. If you assign it the first week or 2 of the semester, usually you have a few more weeks before you get your first writing assignment from students. If you're teaching a 4-4 load or a 5-5 load, it's going to be a lot of papers immediately in your desk, in your inbox. So that might be a con for you if you want to get a bit slower a start to having to grade so much content. But I would say if you don't teach that high of a load, if you're teaching a 2-2 or a 3-2 or whatever the case may be, I do think it's something to really consider, but it is a con if, again, you have a very heavy load to your semester. It can be a con for students as well because again, like you're asking them to write immediately. Maybe they want to like ease into things, get a bit more comfortable with you. So they might be, a bit turned off by the idea of having to submit a writing sample so quickly. So in this case, it's very much about how you give them the perspective of like, don't worry about it. Like this isn't an intense, like any grammar error is going to be points off. Like I really just want to know more about you. I want you to start thinking about the class concepts, how they connect to your life. Like really get them to see that it is pretty low stakes. And in connection to that, how much do you weigh it? This weighed very little in my classes. I would go at most 10% of the overall course grade. It can be less, maybe even 5%. So again, it's not this harsh like, oh my God, it's a major assignment 2 weeks in. No, it's pretty small, but if you do it, if you complete it correctly, you can, again, start your grade off on a really high note, which of course would be a big benefit as the semester progresses. As far as following up, I do believe that it'd be nice to not obviously discuss specifics. It's a very private, potentially autobiography that they'll turn into you. But you might discuss patterns. Oh, hey, I noticed that a lot of you mentioned Divergent as one of your favorite books that you read during your teen years. Or you might have, hey, a lot of you talked about how it was in middle school when you started getting nervous about writing because you're getting negative feedback from teachers. Here's my approach to getting feedback, just so you know, and I'm always open for office hours if you want to, go over a draft before you turn things in. So kind of when you read through them, see if there's any patterns of where you can boost the confidence of students or show them like where already have connections, you just don't know about it yet because you have these similar interests, you have these similar worries potentially. And so I do think following up in a very general sense, again, not specifics, would be helpful after this assignment as well. And you can also use it, as I said, as a writing sample. So if you notice, of your 30 students, 20 of them are having this type of issue with the flow of paragraphs. Maybe you want to have a lesson early on about how to make sure you have a strong structure to your writing, how you make sure that one paragraph leads together neatly, transitional phrases, and so that can be obviously very useful as well as follow-up for this assignment too. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I'll be doing one of these a week for the summer, one assignment per video. Other assignments I'm covering are group facilitation projects, primary research papers, secondary research papers, multimedia projects, remediations, adaptations, and a lot more. So if you're someone who's looking for potential assignment ideas for your classroom come fall, then I do recommend subscribing so you don't miss out on future videos. Again, if you have any comments on this particular assignment, let me know, and I'll see you next time with a new video.